What's up, retro gamers? Dan here on the show floor at Classic Game Fest with Mikka, seasoned developer in the game space. Just had an awesome panel with your friends Howard Scott Warshaw and Ernie Klein. Tell me a little bit about just like your career and some of your high points.
Oh, my career is almost too long. I'm the old man in the game industry, in an industry where mostly people spend 6 years and get the hell out of Dodge. But I started work on Game Boy games, and before that, when I was a kid, I learned on a Commodore 64 making games that I tried to mimic my heroes like Howard and stuff like that. And my career took off kind of around 94, 96, in that range, and I just started making games for the Game Boy, and then that kind of escalated, and like now, I don't know, about 140 games later, I'm putting out games. We just put this game out called IDARB, which stands for It Draws a Red Box on Xbox One, and that's one of the biggest games of my career, and it's going pretty strong. So it's been a weird ride of just like...
Lots of ups and downs.
Yeah, all over the place. I worked on classic games, new games, console games, PC games, mobile games, everything.
That's pretty cool. And you've been a creative director on quite a few of those games. What's kind of like the difference between being a creative director and then being a programmer? What's the big difference there?
Creative director it's a weird role because you have a team of creative people and you're just trying to get them to go like drive towards one vision. And oftentimes, like even myself, I find myself like not even sure really what the vision should be either. So you throw a lot of stuff at the wall. Like it's like throwing darts at a wall trying to hit the bullseye. And you're like, oh, there's 20 ideas and they're not quite in the middle. And so you spend all your time trying to focus everybody's energy and creative energy to getting one vision that you know is going to be something that will resonate with the most people. And so that oftentimes is more challenging than engineering, which I've done quite a bit. And engineering, it's great because it's just very practical. And like you have a problem, you can solve the problem, you know your ways to get there. And it's a creative process for sure. But it's amazing to me that creative, like directing creatives is way more challenging.
That's cool. And so you've been made famous more recently because you reprogrammed Donkey Kong for your daughter. So talk a little bit about that. Like, just she wanted to play Donkey Kong, and
yeah. So one of her favorite games when she was really young, when she was 3, was playing Donkey Kong. She would sit on my lap, we'd play Donkey Kong, we'd go to the arcade and play Donkey Kong, and so we had evolved from Donkey Kong to the later Mario games, where you could pick other characters. So Super Mario Brothers 2, you could pick Princess Peach or Princess Toadstool in the game. And so when we went back to Donkey Kong, her favorite game, she was like, immediately, I want to play the girl. I want to play her. I'm like, not in this game. It doesn't quite work that way. And she just kept wanting to. So it dawned on me a little bit later on. I'm like, well, I'm a game developer. This is what I'm supposed to be able to do. And here's my audience of one, the most important person in my life. So I just started poking around online and talking to a friend of mine and saw that it was pretty easy. It's very similar to programming for Game Boy. So I just spent a night switching it out, and as I was doing, I was posting progress online, hoping my friends would get a kick out of it. And what I didn't realize was some good friends of mine were posting to all various places about it, and this guy, Adam Boyce, who's now over at Sony, he posted on Reddit and shared it, and I was oblivious to any response that was going on. I remember I was at this auction with my wife, and she told me to shut my phone off. She's like, you always look at your phone, don't look at it. I'm like, all right, whatever. And my phone just, I didn't do it. I'm like, what if there's an emergency? So my phone just kept going off and off and off.
We've all done that.
Yes. And so I'm like, I better go check it. What if there's a babysitter? So I go and I see hundreds of text messages and all these people saying like, hey, your story's blowing up and all that stuff. And for me, I couldn't even imagine what the story was. I'm like, what did I say in an interview recently that offended somebody? Because that's probably what it is. So I call my friend, and at that moment, it was number 2 on the front page of Reddit, and it was just going insane. And by Monday morning, we had Good Morning America, CNN, all these people calling to want to talk about it and stuff. It was insane, but it was all because of my daughter, who had the awesome thought of hey, I want to play as the girl. So it was great.
So when you play, I haven't seen the screenshots, but Mario needs to be saved, or Jumpman needs to be saved. That's pretty funny.
It's pretty funny because it also happened at a very poignant time in game development, because
definitely
there were these women versus tropes in video game series that Anita Sarkeesian was starting to release, which I hadn't even caught up to yet. I heard people talking about it. And so just as the controversy about that's happening, here comes Donkey Kong hack. So it's this total explosion of feminism in gaming, which is I'm glad to be a part of, but it was the stars were just in perfect alignment, and
good timing.
I got her a lot of credit for all that. It was
yeah, totally awesome. Well, Mike, it's been a pleasure talking to you. Thanks for coming to Classic Game Fest. You got some fans that want to sign stuff, so I'm gonna let you go. Make sure you like and subscribe to this channel and all that good stuff. Twitter, Facebook, it's all in the description. So thanks for watching.